What if I told you there was one choreography that completely changed the trajectory of two of K-pop's greatest dancers? A single dance routine that transformed not just their careers, but their entire understanding of what it means to move to music. Today, we're diving deep into the choreography that changed everything for Park Jimin of BTS and Taemin SHINee, but this isn't just about a dance. This is about a moment in time when two young artists discovered something about themselves that would define their entire artistic identity. And when I show you what happened, you'll understand why this choreography is considered the turning point that created the legends we know today. Hit that like button if you're ready to witness the birth of two dance legends, and subscribe because what you're about to discover will change how you see both Jimin and Taemin forever. Taemin has been in the industry for 5 years, but he's still finding his voice as a solo artist. He's known as SHINee's main dancer, but there's something missing, that spark that separates good dancers from transformative performers. Meanwhile, Jimin is still a trainee, years away from BTS's debut, spending countless hours in practice rooms, perfecting his technique but struggling to find what makes him unique in a sea of talented dancers. Both dancers were at crossroads in their careers, though they didn't know it yet. Taemin was preparing for his solo debut, feeling the pressure to establish himself as more than just a member of a group. The choreography he chose for his debut would need to be perfect, something that showcased his skills while revealing his artistic identity. For Jimin, every practice session was about proving himself worthy of debut, but he was fighting against the feeling that his contemporary dance background might not fit the K-pop mold. The choreography that would change everything wasn't planned to be revolutionary. It started as a collaboration between one of Korea's most innovative choreographers and Taemin's creative team. They wanted something that would push boundaries, something that hadn't been seen in K-pop before. What they created was more than just a dance routine, it was a new language of movement that would influence an entire generation of performers. When Taemin first learned the choreography, something clicked. It wasn't just about hitting the right moves or staying in sync with the music. This choreography demanded something different. It required the dancer to completely surrender to the music, to let their body become an instrument of emotion rather than just technique. The moves flowed in ways that seemed to defy gravity, transitions that looked impossible, isolations that required a level of body control most dancers spend years trying to achieve. But here's where the story gets interesting. At the same time Taemin was preparing this groundbreaking routine, Jimin was watching. Not just watching casually, but studying every movement, every transition, every breath. He saw something in this choreography that spoke to his contemporary dance background, something that validated his artistic instincts in a way K-pop training never had. The choreography featured elements that were unprecedented in K-pop: liquid spine movements that seemed to flow like water, arm waves that created visual illusions, and floor work that looked more like contemporary art than traditional idol dancing. It was sensual without being inappropriate, powerful without being aggressive, and emotional without being melodramatic. It was everything both dancers had been searching for without knowing it. When Taemin first performed this choreography publicly, the reaction was explosive. Fans had never seen anything like it. Here was a K-pop idol moving in ways that seemed to transcend the boundaries of the genre. The performance went viral instantly, not just in Korea but internationally. Suddenly, everyone was talking about this new style of K-pop choreography that looked more like modern art than traditional idol performance, but the real magic happened backstage. Jimin, still a trainee at the time, had been given permission to attend the showcase. He watched from the wings as Taemin transformed on stage, and something fundamental shifted in his understanding of what dance could be. This wasn't just entertainment, this was storytelling through movement, emotional expression through physicality, artistry through choreography. After the performance, Jimin approached Taemin. What happened in that conversation would influence both of their careers forever. Taemin, still coming down from the high of his performance, was struck by this young trainee's passion and understanding of the choreography. Jimin wasn't just impressed by the technical skill, he understood the artistic vision behind it. They talked for hours about dance, about artistry, about the future of performance in K-pop. Taemin shared his process of learning the choreography, the mental and physical challenges it presented, and how it had changed his relationship with dance. Jimin talked about his contemporary background, his struggles to fit into traditional K-pop training, and his dreams of bringing more artistic expression to idol performance. That conversation planted seeds that would bloom in both of their careers. Taemin realized that he had the power to influence the next generation of performers, that his artistic choices could open doors for others. Jimin understood that his unique background wasn't a limitation, it was his strength, his path to standing out in an incredibly competitive industry. The choreography continued to evolve and influence both dancers long after that first performance. Taemin used it as a foundation to develop his signature style, that liquid, almost ethereal quality that makes his movements seem otherworldly. Every subsequent choreography built on the principles he learned from that first groundbreaking routine, the importance of emotional connection, the power of subtle movement, the beauty of controlled vulnerability. For Jimin, the influence was even more profound. When BTS finally debuted, his approach to choreography was unlike any other idol of his generation. He brought elements of that liquid movement style, the emotional expression, the contemporary sensibilities that he had seen Taemin master. But he didn't copy, he adapted and evolved, creating his own version of that artistic approach to dance. The choreography that started it all became a template for artistic expression in K-pop. Other choreographers began incorporating similar elements, the fluid transitions, the contemporary influences, the emphasis on emotional storytelling through movement. It wasn't just a dance anymore, it had become a movement that was reshaping the entire industry's approach to choreography. Years later, both dancers would credit this choreography as the moment they truly understood their artistic identity. For Taemin, it was the realization that he could be more than just technically proficient, he could be transformative. For Jimin, it was the validation that his unique style and background had a place in K-pop, that he could bring something new to the industry. The impact of this choreography extended beyond just the two dancers involved. It inspired a generation of performers to think differently about movement, to see dance as an art form rather than just entertainment. Dance studios began teaching the style, aspiring idols studied the techniques, and choreographers started pushing boundaries in ways they never had before. What makes this story even more remarkable is how it demonstrates the power of artistic influence and mentorship in the entertainment industry. Taemin, by pursuing his artistic vision fearlessly, gave Jimin permission to do the same. Their brief but meaningful interaction created a ripple effect that continues to influence K-pop choreography today. The choreography also changed how both dancers approached collaboration and artistic growth. Taemin became more conscious of his role as an artistic leader, understanding that his choices could inspire others. Jimin developed the confidence to suggest his own choreographic ideas, to bring his contemporary training into group settings, to push for more artistic expression in BTS's performances. Today, when you watch either Jimin or Taemin perform, you can still see elements of that original choreography in their movement. Not literal moves, but the philosophy behind it, the idea that dance should be emotional, transformative, and boundary pushing. That single routine taught them both that technique without artistry is empty, but artistry without solid technique is impossible. The choreography that changed everything for Jimin and Taemin wasn't just about the moves themselves. It was about the moment two artists realized that they had the power to redefine what K-pop dance could be. It was about understanding that authenticity and artistic vision are just as important as technical skill. It was about the courage to be different in an industry that often rewards conformity. This story reminds us that sometimes the most important moments in our artistic journey aren't the big debuts or major performances, they're the quiet moments of recognition, the conversations that open our minds, the pieces of art that show us what's possible. For both Jimin and Taemin, that choreography was a mirror that reflected their true potential back to them. The legacy of this choreography continues today. Every time a K-pop choreographer pushes boundaries, every time a performer brings contemporary elements to their routine, every time an idol chooses artistry over safety, they're building on the foundation that was established by that groundbreaking performance. The choreography that changed everything for two dancers ended up changing everything for an entire industry. So there you have it, the story of the choreography that transformed two of K-pop's greatest dancers and influenced an entire generation of performers. It wasn't just about learning moves or perfecting technique. It was about discovering artistic identity, finding the courage to be different, and understanding the power of authentic expression through movement. What do you think about the power of artistic influence in shaping careers? Have you ever had a moment where a piece of art completely changed your perspective? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let me know which choreographer or performance has influenced you the most. If this deep dive into dance history fascinated you as much as it did me, smash the like button and subscribe for more behind-the-scenes stories about your favorite K-pop artists. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss our latest content exploring the moments that shape the industry we love. Check out our other videos about choreography evolution in K-pop and the artistic journeys of your favorite dancers. Thanks for joining me on this exploration of the art form that continues to push boundaries and inspire millions around the world. Until next time, keep dancing to your own rhythm.